everybody, and a new Game Informer article was published today. Now, this one is more of a conversation between two people who were involved with doing the Game Informer overview of the Rise of Iron. So what I did was go through this conversation piece and pick out little pieces of information that either we didn't know or we didn't know a lot of information about, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about it in this video. So it's a breakdown of all the important parts, pretty much. If you do want to read the whole thing, I will link it in the description, but this is essentially going to be, like I said, a breakdown of that article. So first things first, let's kick it off with Rise of Iron is not as large as The Taken King. I think what they've kind of compared it to in the past is somewhere between House of Wolves and Taken King. It's like somewhere in the middle. So you're getting more than the Dark Below and all that stuff, but you're getting less than The Taken King. But what they did say in this article is that instead of making it as large as The Taken King, they've doubled down on the investment game, putting a lot of stuff in to keep players involved over a long period of time. So instead of just a bunch of new content, there's lots of different things that you can do to keep you playing. Like, for example, the amount of new armor sets that we get, the ornaments that we can add to exotic weapons and our armor pieces, Archon's Forge, we can keep grinding that. They've added a bunch of different investment things for us to do to keep us interested in the game. The artifacts are another example of that. If you want to catch them all, you gotta keep playing. Now, a cool thing that's maybe not super important, but I just thought it was interesting, is that in terms of the wolves that are in Fellwinter Peak, Bungie actually consulted with wolf conservationists before putting wolves into the game to try and represent the wolves in a realistic way. So they want them to be as realistic as they can get within Destiny's world. So I thought that was really cool, but it probably means we will never be able to pet them because you can't pet wolves. I mean, maybe you can if you're some kind of wolf whisperer, but in general, you can't really pet wolves. So that makes me sad. Now, moving on to something that's super duper exciting. I'm super duper excited about this. Lord Saladin, now when Iron Banner comes around, Lord Saladin will be selling something called Iron Engrams. Now, what these engrams do is that they're going to give you some of the older Year 1 and Year 2 armor pieces. Now, it is worth noting that they will be infusible to max light, so they're not like Xur's Legacy engram, where it's just a bunch of poop. You can get a Galahorn, but you can't use it. You can get Thorn, but you can't use it. I mean, you can, but it's not max light level. With these engrams, you are going to be able to get that Year 1 and Year 2 stuff, and you're going to be able to wear it in Iron Banner, in Trials of Osiris, in the raid, because it's going to be infusible up to max light level. So that's exciting, especially with class items taking shaders. I want that Year 1, that very, very first Iron Banner cape, and I want to be able to put shaders on it. If that is a thing, if that exists, guys, I'm going to go insane. I'm gonna actually go insane. My whole channel will turn into like a Barbie dress up your guardian channel. I'm gonna have videos like Fashion Week in Destiny #1. It's gonna be fun for me. Maybe not for you. But that's really cool. We can get the old armor and we can get to max light. We can look however the hell we want. Next, they talk about Radiant Treasures, which are taking the place of Sterling Treasures, and they talked about their personal experience with Radiant Treasures. Now, what they said they noticed they personally got from these is they got ornaments for Zalo Supercell, Invective, Telesto, Multitool, and the Kvostov. So if you don't know what ornaments do, they basically change the appearance. They're essentially skins for exotic weapons. So you can turn your Monte Carlo black, for example. You can add, like, I don't know, a freaking rose petal on the side. Obviously, I don't know the specifics because I haven't used them, but that's really cool. They're essentially weapon skins. We're going to be able to get them from Radiant Treasures, which you can buy from Eververse or earn throughout just playing the game like you currently can with Sterling Treasure. Now, they also mentioned that there's going to be some new artifacts that you can get from these Radiant Treasures that essentially are camera filters. So you get an artifact and you equip it and it turns your camera a different kind of tint. So they noticed a sepia tint, they noticed a blue tint. There's various different tints that you can put on your in-game camera. Now this is going to be aimed at people who want to make in-game movies. If you want to get movie of the week and you want to use that tint, you're going to be able to do that. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously it's not a groundbreaking, amazing, crazy thing, but I thought it was pretty cool that we can can get tints and make in-game movies. Now moving on to the Plague Lands and Archon's Forge. They did say to keep expectations in check with the new Plague Lands because it's not a brand new place. It's still very much so old Russia. It is set in old Russia, so don't think it's going to be this crazy new thing. You will be tracking down new hidden fragments that are very similar to Calcify fragments, but there's not as many of them in the game as there was in the Taken King with Calcify fragments. Some of these are tied to the new Galahorn questline, and some also tie back to your Rise of Iron book completion. Obviously, you need to complete the book if you want the Iron Lord armor, and we all want Galahorn, so we definitely want to collect those fragments to get ourselves a Galahorn. In Archon's Forge, they did compare it to Gears of War's Horde mode because you're fending off waves of fallen enemies that spawn out of domes scattered across the forge. They did mention that there's a fun risk-reward element in that if you die, you get kicked back to the entrance, which is locked, so you can't get back in. Now, you can be revived, so I like to think of this as something similar to the old Nightfall mechanic. You can be revived, but if your team manages to die before you get the revive up, you will all be kicked out and you can't get back in, and you obviously do not want that to happen. Now, the story behind Archon's Forge actually plays off of the Fallen hierarchy system. A fallen foot soldier has to scavenge for a piece of Siva technology to prove his worth to his house, and then he offers it up to the Archon's Forge in order to earn the right to fight and improve his standing within his house. So we are essentially going out and finding these same little pieces of Siva technology that these fallen soldiers are looking for to desperately try and get higher up in their house, and we're pooping all over fallen ascension rituals. We're just going there and being like, I don't care about your rituals, give me them pieces, I want this new armor. We're great people. We're nice. Nah, I mean, the Fallen are pretty mean, so I guess they deserve it. Now, some of the challenges in Archon's Forge are actually pretty freaking hard. Each Archon's Forge challenge ends in a big boss battle, but you are not guaranteed to actually reach the boss battle. How Archon's Forge is going to work is that you have to kill all of the enemies fast enough so you don't time out and get kicked out. So basically what it's going to be is there's going to be a horde of enemies coming at you. You have to kill them as fast as possible, because if you don't, you won't actually reach the end boss battle, and the boss battle is the only way that you can get the new armor and the new weapons. So you gotta be fast, you gotta be killing things, use your Galahorn, it's important. Just use Galahorn, you'll win everything, right? But you have to kill things really quickly, get to the boss, kill the boss without timing out, otherwise you will not get any of the loot that you can get from this new forge thing. They also mentioned that it's going to be one of the ways to earn light capped class items. So maybe there's not that many ways to get light capped class items, but this will be one of them where you can get a max light level cape or bond or whatever, and you will be on your way to being max light level. Now, they did speak a little bit about the Galahorn quest and said that it's fairly similar to the new subclass quests because you'll get to go to a PvP zone, Bannerfall and Skyshock, and fight AI in there, which will also give you a little bit more story and context around the weapons. So I'm all about that. I think that the subclass quests were like some of the best experiences I've had in Destiny. Like, they were just awesome. They were epic. They were great. So if they're doing something similar with that for the Galahorn quest, I am all about that. Now, something that has confused me a little bit that was in this article is that Bungie apparently said to Game Informer that they're not going to be increasing the vault space. Now, this on the surface looks really bad because they're adding all of these customization options, but they're not giving us any more space, question mark, hello? But it has been said, and I know this has been said by Bungie in the past, that vault space is not going to be an issue now that last gen has been dropped. Like, I know that was said. I know that's a thing. I know it's somewhere. I remember reading it. They said specifically that it's not going to be an issue. So maybe they're not giving us more vault space, but maybe they're allowing us to carry more stuff on our character. Maybe they're going to give us more kiosks where it can show like all of the armor or all of the weapons we've ever gotten. I don't know, but I just remember hearing it's not going to be an issue. So we will find out more at Gamescom, I think, or maybe PAX, but I remember hearing that. So that's why I'm not freaking out about no more vault space, because I already don't have any space, let alone with all the other new stuff that's coming. But yeah, not freaking out yet, but that definitely confused me. Now, speaking a little bit about Trials of Osiris, they did say that the new ornaments are only gonna be gotten by people who go flawless. Now, I did mention this before, but I wanted to kind of put it in here because it was a part of this article. Now, each armor piece has an ornament that you have to earn in order to change its appearance and make it look super duper awesome. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I assume the ornament makes it look amazing. So finding someone with full Trials of Osiris gear and full ornaments is gonna be pretty rare, and I'm personally gonna try and get there super duper fast because I want that. That is like my life goal. I want all of the Trials of Osiris gear, and I want all of the ornaments, because it's important to me, okay? They did also mention that the raid equivalent of these ornaments, you will get them from challenge mode quests. So you're gonna be the best PvEer in order to get all of the raid gear with all of the raid ornaments, and you're gonna be the best PvPer to get all of the Trials gear and all of the Trials ornaments. So I really like that. I cannot stress enough how important it is for people to get stuff where people are like, where did you get that? And it represents what you like doing in the game. It represents what you're good at in the game. It's super duper important, and I'm very happy that that is a thing. In terms of when Trials of Osiris is going to actually come out, they did say that it's going to release shortly after the release of Rise of Iron's launch. So I don't know if it's going to be the first Friday when the raid drops and Trials drops, or if maybe we're going to have to wait a week. My guess is we're gonna have to wait a week. I don't know if they're gonna release the raid and Trials at the same time. It would be cool if they did, because I want to do Trials, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had to wait a week for Trials to come back. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about are skeleton keys, because we've talked about them a little bit, but they did kind of clarify things a little bit more, so I definitely wanted to include that in this video. Each time you complete a nightfall or play a strike within a playlist, you have a chance of getting a skeleton key. Now, you can only carry 5 skeleton keys at once, so my guess is that they didn't want people just sitting in the strike playlist getting like 200 skeleton keys, then going to an individual strike and trying to get the weapon or armor that they want. I don't know, there wouldn't be anything wrong with that, but it just makes it a little bit more grindy, and hey, whatever. I like grindy things. So that's how you're gonna get skeleton keys. You can only carry 5, and then you can go to any strike at all, no matter what level it is. Play that strike, get to the end, and you'll be able to open a chest and potentially get a bond or Grasp of Malik. So that's how skeleton keys are gonna work. Overall, I am probably more excited about Rise of Iron than I was the Taken King, just because for me as a player, what I'm all about is representing who I am with my Guardian. I'm wanting to chase those new cosmetic things. I want to chase all of the new exotics. I really like chasing things that are weapons and stuff. I don't necessarily care about having a super extensive long story. I love story, but I don't necessarily care super crazy about that. I just want to get the ornaments. I want to get the armor. I want to like change the way my Monte Carlo looks. I want to change the way my multi-tool looks. I want to create this Guardian that fully represents what I'm into, what I'm all about, and I just want to keep playing the content that I really enjoy. I love Destiny, and they're bringing in ways to keep me playing Destiny and getting stuff that I've been looking forward to for so incredibly long. And I'm really looking forward to the Forge, Archon's Forge. I'm excited about that. I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's gonna be really fun. So that is it for the breakdown video. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like and let me know in the comment section, how are you feeling about Rise of Iron? What are you most excited about? Please do let me know, and I will speak to you awesome people later. Bye.